Welcome back to the Hotep Money Channel, where we cover the latest in artificial intelligence and finance news. I'm your host, Hotep Jesus. Without further ado, let's get right into the first update. I woke up this morning to lots of rumors swirling on the internet about a bank failure, about too big to fail, bank bailouts. And I was like, wait, what? The Fed did what at the repo window? How much? So I had to dive into the internet. So I took bank failure. Put that in the search engine. I didn't get anything. I typed in a bunch of different things, and I finally found an article that I enjoyed reading on this subject matter. So let's go to this article here. This is on dcreport.org. This is dcreport.org. The name of the article is Big Banks Enjoy Stealth Bailouts. This was written today. This is today, according to David K. Johnston. And here's what he said about this so-called bank failure or bank bailout. I guess maybe a bit of both. The Federal Reserve Bank of New York, the NY Fed, acting like a financial Santa Claus to recklessly naughty bankers, delivered $17 billion in cash to unknown bank or banks at 8 a.m. the morning after Christmas. While the NY Fed doesn't identify which banks benefited, other records Henry found indicate that major beneficiaries are Bank of America, Barclays, Citi, HSBC, UBS, and likely of greatest concern, the nation's largest bank holding company, JP Morgan and Chase? Going forward, standing overnight repo operations will no longer have an aggregate operational limit, the NY Fed said. I clicked on the link, verified it, and they said, yeah, there is no aggregate operational limit. So that's a bit of a red flag. It says here, the vaguely worded announcement seems to tell bankers that they can get up to $240 billion in cash each day to cover shortfalls. Even if read narrowly, the policy would allow cash infusions twice per day, so up to $80 billion per bank on any one day with no overall banking industry limit. To give you an idea of how much money is involved, consider this. Together, the six biggest banks earned $152 billion in profits last year. Less than any two of them could get in cash in a single day by a narrow reading of the new policy. So less than any two of them could get cash in any single day, which is strange if that's truly how this is being interpreted. So some of this stuff is coming back to silver. JP Morgan and Chase, the bank's parent company, is of particular concern because in mandatory disclosures that few journalists examined, but our Jim Henry did, the company revealed it is on the hook to deliver more than 5,900 tons of silver it doesn't have. Tradable silver is relatively scarce right now, the government data shows. The bank sold contracts for silver it didn't own, expecting the price would fall. Then it planned to buy the contracts back for less, making a profit by selling high and buying low. This risky practice is also known as short selling. Buying stocks or other assets and holding them in the hope the price will rise is called going long, which is what most investors do because it's less risky. JP Morgan got caught in a squeeze because the spot price of silver has nearly tripled since Donald Trump took office, creating an exposure that I calculate at up to $13.7 billion, roughly equal to the profits JP Morgan earns every 90 days, though likely just a costly fraction of that. Continues here. A big problem is that there's not enough silver available for trading to get JP Morgan out of the squeeze it got into through unbridled greed. The more silver prices rise, the more JP Morgan gets hurt. Compounding this, Samsung has developed a powerful battery for electric vehicles that can go 1,000 miles and recharge in under 10 minutes. It requires a kilo of silver for each car or truck. And while EV sales are falling in America, they are soaring in China, the world's largest car market, and other places. About 90% of new cars sold in Norway are electric. A smaller problem arises from the Trump administration, which on Christmas Day alone lobbed at least a dozen Tomahawk missiles at supposed Muslim extremists in Nigeria, and each Tomahawk used about 500 ounces of silver, currently priced at about $80 per ounce, or $40,000 per missile. So my prediction, I looked at all this and I'm like, okay, so silver hit an all new high. Today we saw silver take a hit. I think we're going to continue to see silver slide if we're betting on the Illuminati guys. We're going to continue to see silver slide. As far as what's going on with a bailout, there's not enough evidence to show that this was in fact bailing somebody out. We are still waiting on more information before we can conclusively say that is what happened. Right now, we're dealing with pure speculation and pure conjecture. JP Morgan, 13.7 billion is not going to hurt JP Morgan, by the way, just so you guys know. Silver is down over 7% as of this recording here at 2:50 p.m. on December 29th. Thank you, Todd. Anyway, we'll come back to that at another date. January 5th is an important day. You should probably mark it off in your calendars. We might see some spikes in the AI industry. Seeking Alpha published this article today. CEOs of NVIDIA and AMD are kicking off CES 2026 next week in Las Vegas with presentations that will highlight developments and innovations in artificial intelligence. That starts January 6th to 9th. However, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang and AMD CEO Lisa Su will hold their presentations on Monday, January 5th. They said, Wedbush analysts said, we expect Jensen to focus a lot of his keynote speech on data centers and physical AI and robotics front and center. So there could, CES is like the largest electronic show in the world. I've been there before. We were an exhibitor there before with our Wazo AI technology. That was back during the pandemic. Everybody from China came over. I got COVID. It was crazy. I was like the first American with COVID. Not financial advice, not life advice, do your own research. But it felt like I was patient zero because I was around all those Chinese people. Anyway, it is the biggest electronic show that exists on the planet. If NVIDIA or AMD has a breakout announcement, we could see spikes. So anybody who has leaps for that time period, you know, you might be in good hands. Not financial advice, do your own research. They might not have a big announcement. But if you did want to gamble, January 5th is the moment you want to take a gamble. Masayoshi Son out of Japan is making a huge move. He's like, oh, you guys got data centers? I do too. SoftBank just made a power move in the AI infrastructure wars on Monday. The Japanese investment giant agreed to buy data center firm DigitalBridge for $4 billion, cementing its bet on the compute backbone that powers next generation AI systems. The deal signals where the real infrastructure spending is headed as AI becomes the defining technology battleground. AI investment is definitely in infrastructure. You think about AI and investments, you should think infrastructure. That stock, I think, spiked like 900 bips or something like that on the day after that purchase. Now, what does DigitalBridge do? Basically, I asked the Google demons, I said, what does it do? And it said, cell towers, fiber networks, edge infrastructure, data centers, like cell tower. I mean, just this company's already set up as like a backbone for the internet. So that's a huge move for SoftBank and Masayoshi Son in Japan to step into the world of AI and AI infrastructure. This is a holiday week, so we probably won't get any more updates for the rest of the week. Well, actually, we have one more update. We'll have an update tomorrow. Hit the like and subscribe button. I'll be back with more in the new year. Hope to see you then. Get out of here.
You was training me, man, when it was training day, like Denzel.
Nothing can stop me. I'm all the way